My favorite show is on.
Show got that real.
Hello, everyone, and thank you again for tuning in to Season 5 and Episode 4 of WhyORU. It is your girl, Trinity Caesar.
And it's your boy, Joseph Thomas.
And thank you again, once again. So today on the show, we have a good friend of ours, Joy Green. How are you doing today, Joy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I am good. We are good. Well, before we get truly started, just give us a little insight of your name, your major, your classification, hometown. Just give us all the information.
Oh, okay. My name's Joy. I'm a senior at ORU. My major is drama, film, television, performance. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm number 3 out of 4 siblings. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Joy, I have a question that's totally off topic, but it's catching my eye. Where did you get this sweatshirt? Because it is like so dope. Tell us.
Yes.
It's an app that I've just been obsessed with. It's called Shein. It's a clothing app. My entire closet so far has been Shein. Like, I'm obsessed with it. And I used to hate the color orange, but I saw this, I was like, okay, I have to have that.
Yes.
So.
Oh, that is so cute.
Oh, and like,
come on.
You saw my orange socks. My orange socks.
Now. And then the eyeshadow makeup just makes everything just pop together. Come on now.
Thank you.
So are the prices reasonable?
Yeah, very reasonable. Like, you can get like a whole new closet for like, I'd say like maybe $120.
Oh wow.
So it's like really good. And they have a male section too.
Okay.
Come on, Joseph.
Shein, I'm in there after this. Okay. Well, Joy, well, go ahead, Trinity. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Well, Joy, we just want to just get in a little insight on like why you came to ORU and everything, and just your journey to be who you are today. So, how did you come to ORU, and what was that process?
Mm-hmm.
How did you choose ORU?
It wasn't originally by choice. I'll tell you that, because I had already been accepted to my dream school. Well, 2 dream schools, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and then Juilliard. I had already been accepted to those. And so I was like in the process of like getting scholarships and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to go to school. This is like January of my senior year of high school. So I'm like already accepted to my top 2 schools. I'm like, okay, we're good. And then my mom, she comes to me and is like, the Lord told me you're going to ORU. I was like, I've never heard of ORU. She's like, it's a school in Oklahoma. I was like, Oklahoma? What is that? So I pushed it off and just ignored her for like a whole month straight. And then the Lord came to me in a dream, and he just like basically showed me that those 2 schools were not the place for me. I was going to be like really sad and upset, and just like it was going to go downhill, and it just wasn't the path that he had for me. So then he finally told me, he's like, you're going to go to ORU. So I applied to ORU. And then everything fell into place. I got accepted. I went to college weekend, fell in love with the campus and the people, and got accepted to the theater department, got scholarships. So, and actually, surprisingly, I like Tulsa. So it just all like kind of fell into place. So that's how I came to ORU originally. And it's been a journey.
Yeah.
It has been walking through the valley of the shadow of death. These 3.5 years. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be walking across that stage in May 2021. So
you will.
Yes.
You will. And this isn't your so I remember you being here like my freshman year, and then sophomore you kind of like went ghost.
Yeah.
Where did you go? And then you came back. So like give us a little insight on what happened during that season.
Yeah, so after my sophomore year here on campus, I left ORU because I actually got the opportunity to audition for my first movie. And so I actually left campus early that year as well. I left in like the third week of April to go audition. And then a couple months went by and I got the role for my very first movie, which is crazy.
Yeah, can you give us a little insight? Because I know some people.
I can give you a very little insight.
Okay,
but,
okay.
I can just say that it's a Netflix movie coming soon. It's called Match Made. That's all I can tell you. Because we're still filming right now.
Oh my God.
We're right now. We have a whole celebrity on our show. No.
Oh my goodness. It's crazy to think about. So even when I go home for this Christmas break coming up, I'll be
yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so yeah. It's crazy. So, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm glad to be back. But I'm glad to be back. I missed WhyORU. So
pause. Take us all the way back, because I heard Juilliard, and when you hear this school, you're like, you know, wow, if you go to Juilliard, you can do this. Like you're the .com, and the fact that you got accepted, and you know, now you're at this little school called WhyORU, and God said you a movie star, like, you know. So what was that process of you turning down Juilliard? How did that? What was going through your mind?
The sadness. I'm just kidding. No, I actually felt it was a peaceful like decision, because like when God calls you to do something, he's gonna make a way for it to happen. So like they're like calling me every day, like looking for like all these paperwork forms and stuff, and then I have to call them and say, hey, I'm not actually coming to this school in the fall. And they were pretty upset, but when I hung up, I was like, okay, that was like surprisingly easy. So yeah, it was it was a tough decision, because obviously I didn't want to do it. It's like, hello, it's Juilliard. But you know, I didn't want to obey the Lord, but I did.
Exactly, because who knows what could have happened if you went to do. You probably wouldn't have had this opportunity.
Yeah.
In a role on Netflix that we will be watching. But how did you feel whenever you stepped foot on campus? You got everything packed, unpacked, and everything. You were like an WhyORU student. Right?
It's so crazy, because like my like junior and like beginning of senior year of high school, I actually didn't want to go to college at all. It's like that wasn't like I didn't see that as like in my future. And like my brother and sister, they played basketball, and like we would go to their games, and I would like see the college students and stuff. It's like I could never see myself like doing that. I don't understand. It's like I'm over high school. It's like, how can you do 4 more years of school? I can't see that happening. But like when I started to do the process of like applying to colleges and stuff, and then just like seeing that actually become part of my dream, it's like, okay, like I can, because it's like as an actress, like you can start your career whenever you want to, because like when you go into acting like studio and audition, they're like, oh, like can we see your grades or like your transcript or whatever, like they don't ask for that. So but it's always been like a personal like goal of mine. Like even when I left, I was like, I'm going to college somewhere, because it's become a personal like striving goal for me to have a college diploma. So it's like it gives you just like extra backpack or something to fall back on, even if like life doesn't work out. So yeah, like I can't, it's been a journey, but it's like I know even like it gets harder and harder every day. Like of course I'm a senior, like senioritis hits, and it's like I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of waking up for classes, but it's like you're almost there. Like you're literally almost there. Right. So I just like push myself every day.
Joy, can you take me back to when you first started acting, and where did that love come from?
I first started like acting when I was like 2. I was on Huggies, but I fell in love with
oh my God. is a whole star out here.
Hello, I got my autograph paper ready. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. But I fell in love with acting when I was like 11. There's a production my church puts on every year called Harvest Fest. And you're only allowed to do it from middle school until like high school. And when I was in like 6th grade, um, I went to the auditions with one of my best friends at the time because it was just like something to do just to get out the house because I didn't like being at home all the time. But when I went to the auditions, at first, like our roles were like minor roles, like just kids in the classroom. But then we got promoted to like these two girls, like these two main characters. I was like, oh, okay, like this is actually pretty cool. And then my 7th grade year, I was like, okay, like this is great. Like this is something I want to do. So that's when I fell in love with acting and just like started taking classes, getting actual training in it, and like immersing myself in the film industry. So becoming obsessed with it. So yeah, that's really when I fell in love with it, like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing to know what you want to do at such a young age.
Yes.
Right. So with having that experience of just immersing yourself and like being open to like getting to different characters and stuff like that, was it easy in a way to make new friends here on campus? Because would you like, because I know some people are like, if you're scared, you can like pretend you're a character and then act as if that character is doing it, or I don't know.
That sounds psychotic.
Yeah. I never heard that one. Okay.
Really? It's like, okay, so if you're nervous, then you pretend you're somebody. My aunt used to tell me this all the time. Like, you pretend you're somebody and just give that person a name, and you're that character for whatever you're nervous about. So, what were you, basically all that to say, was it easy for you to make friends coming to Oral Roberts University, and how was basically student life for you?
When I first came, actually wasn't. I actually didn't have friends for a very long time. I was just like, I became a homebody. I would go to rehearsals and then back to my room, or like rehearsals, saga, my room. So that came in routine like the first like 2 months of freshman year. But then like I met these amazing group of people who have been my friends, and they still are now. Actually, one of them just got engaged or going to her wedding in a couple weeks. So that's really exciting. But yeah, and it definitely was really hard being in the theater department because you're at that time I was just one of 3 Black faces. So it's like you don't really know how to like adjust to, I would say like culture shock because like where I'm from is like all you see is Black people. So like coming to like a school where it's like a PWI and it's like all you see, and it's like you don't feel recognized because like you're like fighting for roles that are like given to them. So it kind of, I felt like an outsider, and I still do. So it's like a non-stopping battle that I'm just like dealing with being in that theater department. But I love theater, and no one's gonna take that away from me. So I'm here, and I'm here to stay, kitty girl.
So Joy, walk us through the process of what does it look like acting for, in the African American society, and then learning what they would call the book or use version of theater. Walk us through that. What does that look like?
Well, definitely WhyORU, like the plays here, they're definitely way more classical. Like they only do like 19th century stories and older. So there's really no, like during that time, like it wasn't really typecasting for like African Americans. Like you would never see them on stage. So it's difficult because it's like, it's harder for us to get roles because none of those roles like speak to us, or they do typecasting. Some of our directors, they do typecasting here, which means they cast how that character is supposed to look. So if the character, how originally written was white, then the only person who can play that character is going to be white or Hispanic. So there's never really been productions here that highlight a leading role of a Black person or even just a person of color in general. So that's really what like a couple of students have been like fighting for. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and I know a couple students who like unfortunately switched majors because it was just really hard for them mentally and emotionally just to be a part of that. That was when I was gone though, but now that I'm back and I'm seeing it like things happen and like people saying things and doing things that I will never agree with. Yeah. So, but I've like started to speak up for things that I know are right, and they are starting to take action, but it's like, this shouldn't have happened for you to take action on something like that. So it's fine. But yeah, it's a big difference acting for like regular real world stuff and ORU. It's literally like a bubble at ORU. So
yeah. So with experiencing this and going through everything, how will you use your experiences that you've been dealing with into the real world? Because I know this won't just happen in ORU. I know you probably won't get certain roles because of you are a woman of color. So how will you feel like these experiences that you're going through will help you in the real world, and what can you do to like or say to inform like other people who are listening and going through the same thing?
Yeah, I'm definitely just gonna take the fact that it's like it's not me, it's you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've learned, because when it first started happening, I would just like start thinking like, oh my god, like am I not talented enough? Am I not like in the right shape? Did I not say something right? Did I say something offensive? What did I do wrong? And actually sophomore year, I was considering changing my major because it was like, okay, maybe I'm just not good enough to be an actress. Like I haven't gotten any roles. So, but like going home and like getting the movie role and just like being a part of a theater production company when I was off this past year off, it's like, no, you are talented. It's just that they're the ones who are just having that little like blockage, thinking that it's okay for them to do things to people that look like you, and it's not. So I've always like told people who I see or in my classes or at auditions who look like me, know your worth here, know your power, and show up at everything. Be in their face, every audition, every callback, every class. You need to be there because you need to show them that you are here, you matter, and you're just as talented as some of the people here, and you may be more talented. That's not cockiness, it's confidence, because it's learning to love yourself, learning to embrace your talent, because this industry is hard. Like you're gonna get turned down so many times before you get that yes. So you need to be mentally and emotionally strong and prepare for that. And they're preparing it for you in a sense, but not in the right way here at ORU. So I'm always just like, be there, show up. If they're not doing something right, speak up about it, because no one's gonna speak for you. Mm-hmm. So fight your battles, choose your battles, and just show up. And yeah, I'm here. I'm up in your face.
Right.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
Joy, tell us what's next after graduation. Is it Hollywood? Is it Tyler Perry Studios? Where do you see yourself?
The dream is Tyler Perry Studios, but I know God has called me to start my own production company. Uh-huh. So I don't know where he's gonna take that, but he's been giving me visions of it since I was like 14. Of just like me directing and writing and acting and like my own productions. So maybe the next stop is Atlanta. I don't know though.
Come on, Atlanta. Come on, Atlanta.
You know,
I want to go too.
I think, honestly speaking, now that Tyler Perry, I ain't gonna call him Tyler because I don't know him like that. I was about to One day we're gonna have that relationship. But
Right.
Mr. Tyler Perry, now that he has gotten to the magnitude that he is, I personally feel like he should start, an internship or some kind of school for
Yes.
students that will be able to go through that program.
Yeah.
Want to direct and write, like he did, because now that he understands how hard it was to go through that. And even if he's not hands-on teaching, and he get other teachers to teach you all, I think that'd be a cool internship to be on.
Yeah.
Everyday learning, like that is something cool. We're gonna pray about that.
Yeah, and you should also submit that to him, because I'm pretty sure.
Hey, send this to him.
Right.
Yes,
And then you
we're
can be
gonna
able
send
to
it over.
find print. Joseph Thomas.
Yes, and I like to. Hello. I did the church plays. I ain't did Huggies, but I did the church plays, okay?
Yes. Well, Joy, I have another question. So when was that moment where it was just you and you were like, Lord, I can't do this anymore. I need you. And you really just gave your life to Christ, and you fully just gave your all in Christianity?
It was way later than I wish I did, but because I was like always like leading in youth service or whatever, like I was the warrior and like everybody knew me because I was that one girl. But when I like fully like surrendered, was like, okay, God, like I give up, like I'm not even gonna fight this anymore, was actually here sophomore year in my room. I was just like battling so much. I was battling a mental illness. I was battling dealing with stuff that's going on in my room, and like bad roommates, and just like the theater department here at WhyORU was just like attacking me from left and right. And that was just when I was just like, Lord, like I waved the white flag, like I surrender, and I'm just not gonna try to fight you anymore. And like whatever you want to do with everything, it was like a cry for help. It's like I know you see what's going on. It's like, why aren't you doing anything about it? But I know that once I surrender to you, because it's where it says cast your cares upon him. So that's just what I did. It's just like, I give this to you. It's like the Lord, he already knows what you're going through. He's just waiting for you to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I had to realize and then do. And it was just like, okay, like that peace was like beginning to come. It hasn't actually officially it didn't officially like overwhelm me actually until quarantine happened. It was just like, you have nothing to do but to stay at home. It's like, why not get to know God during this time? So it was more of a religion, but now it's like a relationship with God. Yeah. Because like, growing up in church, it becomes more of like a tradition to go to church every Sunday. Right. You don't really have, it's like those walls are still built up. It's like they're spoon feeding the word of God, but you have to get to know God for yourself. So that's actually me having that breakthrough with the Lord actually happened at WhyORU. So.
Well, Joy, for the sake of time, I have one more question. And usually we would save this question for the end, what advice that you would give, but the Holy Spirit moved and Trinity already asked that question. So I'm gonna ask it for myself, okay? This question is not for you all that's listening, it's for me. Joy, you're in senior year, and this spring, God, thank the Lord, I don't know how, but I'm actually going into senior year, and I'm graduating early. I didn't know, and so I need to know what advice would you give for that senioritis? Because I feel it, and I've been feeling this since first day of freshman year. Okay.
Yes.
So, what advice would you give that senior, that junior, that sees the finish line, but is like, tired, it's kind of blurry. They don't know. What advice would you give them to keep going?
Write down your goals is what I would say. Write down your goals. Just map out map out how many classes you have left to take. Talk to people, but I would just also say spend as much time as you can with people. Get with people who can take your mind off of that class or that midterm or that test you have going on. Just have good time and good laughs with your friends and make those memories, because those memories they're gonna be temporary, because it's like you're getting close to the finish line. So these little moments are going to last forever. So, and that's what you're going to hold on to when you graduate. It's those little moments. And if you don't take them, then you regret it. So like, yeah, of course, go to class, keep pushing forward, stay focused, but also like make memories, spend time with your friends, get to know God, immerse yourself in just the moment and take advantage of it. So you don't want any regrets. So
right, no regrets. You definitely want to have that balance in between everything and making sure you're not pooped out before the finish line.
yeah.
But thank you so much, Joy, for coming to the show and just sharing your testimony and sharing your journey. And for being the first celebrity on WhyORU. Thank you so much again. Listeners, WhyORU, thank you again for just coming in and tuning in to the episode 4. We can't wait to hear you guys again. And if you have not followed us on any platforms, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We should get a Twitter, but we're not there yet. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you again for listening, your love and support. It is your girl, Trinity Caesar.
And this your boy, Joseph Thomas.
And we're out. Peace.